Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today I wanted to give a short little review on the newest Horrified game, Horrified World of Monsters. This was a game that I was very excited about that was coming out for a couple reasons. One, because Horrified is one of my favorite cooperative games series of all time. And two, it's because it was announced that it was sort of the standalone expansion that you could add the monsters and mix and match them with the Greek Monsters edition. So I was very excited when this one got announced. I made a video talking about how excited I was about it, in fact. And so I got the game and I've played it 4 or 5 times now. I've played against all of the monsters. So just wanted to give my quick thoughts on them. First, this game comes with less monsters than the other games. It's a smaller box version than the other ones. The other games came with 6 monsters. This one only comes with 4. You've got the Yeti, the Yangshi, the Sphinx, and Cthulhu. And Cthulhu is kind of billed as the big monster that this box was sort of built around. And you have, I think, you have 5 different heroes that you can play as. And as far as the Yeti, the Sphinx, and the Yangshi, I thought they were really good monsters, and they fit well into Horrified. How, I like the riddles and the puzzles that they came in. And that's, with the monsters, that's what I like about Horrified, is that each monster has its own puzzle, has its own riddle of how you defeat them. And I think, pretty much they've done a very good job throughout the series of, making these monsters interesting and a little bit different than the other ones. So I liked those 3 a lot. As far as Cthulhu, the one that it was, this monster is way different than any other monster that they've talked about, because this is a 2-part monster. First, you have to complete this one puzzle, and then Cthulhu comes off the board and is in this other realm, and then you have to sort of go into that realm and then fight him there, I guess. And so my thoughts on Cthulhu is I have no idea. Because one thing that Horrified has not done a good job of is they've made their rule books terribly. They've made all of the monsters and stuff very vague in the past, like how these monsters work. They've made a lot of rules just very vague, and you're not really sure how to do it. And for other monsters in the past, my group has been like, well, they probably mean they do this on this turn, and we've kind of came to a conclusion about that. As far as Cthulhu, once we beat the one version of him and then he goes into this other world, I have zero idea how to play it, because the rules are so bad, they're so vague, and I'm sure someone's going to be like, no, it's very easy, you do this and this. Cthulhu, the explanation for Cthulhu is like a paragraph long, and I think he's somewhat of a complex monster. Not super complex. This isn't a complex game, but he needs a page or 2 to explain what's happening in this other realm, because I don't understand. I read through the rules several times. I tried to go online and figure it out, and I couldn't find a good explanation of how to play against the second version of Cthulhu. So yeah, I don't know how to play the second version of Cthulhu, which is terrible. I couldn't even fumble my way through. I could really fumble my way through, and have zero idea how the game is actually supposed to be played. And that's so frustrating to me, because I love Horrified so much. I love these monsters that are in this one. I was excited for Cthulhu. I was excited that there was a 2-part boss for the first time in Horrified. But I don't know how to review this, because I don't know how to play the Cthulhu second version of him, and he's built as the big bad guy in this box. I like the other monsters, and I'm sure I like Cthulhu if I knew how to play it, but I don't. So yeah, that's so frustrating to me, because this is the 4th edition of Horrified that have come out, and they're still making these monster rules so vague, and Cthulhu definitely needs to not be vague because of the little complexities that involve the second version of them. Sorry that my dog's walking around now. And the other thing that I was super excited about this game was that it is billed as an expansion, a standalone expansion that you can combine with the Greek Monsters edition. And that's something that I've wanted and a lot of people have wanted from Horrified for the last several years, is that we want expansions to these games that you can combine all of them so we can mix and match the monsters and the heroes from all the different games. And this game was billed as that you can do that. You can, kind of, but it's not an easy combination. You can take monsters from the Greek one and put them into this one, or vice versa, and play the different heroes. But it's not that simple of how the game is actually going to play then, because the items that you're drawing are representative of different items from the other games, and the symbols that are on the items for the World of Monsters edition have certain shapes on them, and those shapes represent the different items in the other one. So you have to have this little, like, which items are these again? And then also, when it comes to the monsters, when the monster phase happens, instead of looking at the symbols of them, you're supposed to look at the color, which will represent, well, and that will cause some issues just for colorblind people, because as far as I know, there's nothing else that you can do except for the color of them. They're like, oh, this item's yellow and this item's yellow, so that means this monster for this one. And you can combine them, and it's not like super, super difficult, but it's not like you just throw them in there. I wish there was like a simpler way to combine them. They did not do what I wanted them to do and just have the symbols that are in the Greek Monsters edition have the symbols in the World of Monsters edition. That would have been a much easier way to do this. Like, certain symbols represent certain monsters. I wish they would have done that instead. So as far as this game, as far as the review goes for it, I like this game. I do, but for Cthulhu, I don't know how to play him. The expansion part of it was sort of disappointing to me, how they're combining the two, how this one fits into the other one and the vice versa. And it's a smaller version box of it, so there's only 4 monsters rather than the 6. I don't know how to score this because I enjoyed it, but not the Cthulhu part, so I can basically play 3 monsters in this one instead of the 6 from the other ones. So it's not one that I would say you need to go out and get, not one that I would recommend, but I had a great time playing Horrified because I like Horrified so much. But I may not have ever been as frustrated from a game as I was for this. So it's a good game, but I'm frustrated with it and disappointed. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than that. So yeah, make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this new version of Horrified, and Horrified as a series, in fact. Either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care.